Saints may have finally got their guy. Tyler Shough was selected with the 40th overall pick, and in my personal opinion, he has been much, much better than he has been given credit for. The Saints need a quarterback. They need an answer, and based off of what I've seen so far, I think Tyler Shough may be that answer. And I'm not the only one who's been impressed with him. He started to get the attention of national media. Dan Orlovsky, he took to Twitter after the Dolphins game when the Saints did lose, but Tyler Shough had another impressive performance. Orlovsky saying that he was aggressive. He moved really well. His confidence was high. He saw the field clean. He thought overall he was fantastic. And I agree with Dan Orlovsky, and I'm not the one who thinks that Shough is starting to prove the doubters wrong and starting to flip the narrative that he might be the guy. And fun fact, we are going to tell you why Saints fans should be fired up about Tyler Shough. In case you didn't know, he actually is one of the best rookie quarterbacks thus far, if not the best rookie quarterback that's taken the field this season. So I'm going to explain my case because I believe that Tyler Shough is showing a lot of positive signs, and he's giving a lot of reasons of optimism to the Who Dat Nation. And so coming up today, I'm going to explain my case. I'm going to go through some exciting stats, some really important information, some numbers that show that Tyler Shough is moving in the right direction and that the Saints may have their guy, at least for the near future. Tyler Shough could be the starting quarterback. But I want to encourage you today to subscribe to Saints Now by Chat Sports. We are currently on the road to 100,000 subscribers. But before we get there, we got to get to 53K first. Just need 374 Saints fans to lock us in and join the Golden Gang. And what do you get in return for subscribing? Daily Saints content by Saints fans for Saints fans for 100% free. Now let's start this conversation off by taking a look at the stats for Tyler Shough in 6 games played. We do know that he's gotten a little bit of run early in the season, didn't get a ton of opportunities, but as Spencer Rattler got benched and Tyler Shough is now starting, we've been able to get a little bit more of an accurate read and a little bit of a better understanding of who this player is and what he can do for the Saints offense. And for what it's worth, I'm not going to sit here and say he's been perfect. I'm not going to sit here and try to convince you that he is unbelievably amazing and he's the future Drew Brees and yada, yada, yada. No, I think that he has just been a lot better than he's getting credit for. And the numbers you see on your screen right now, they're not jumping off the screen. I get it. But he has been above average in a lot of categories, and I think that he's somebody who has been really, really impressive. And like I said earlier, among rookie quarterbacks, Tyler Shough has been, if not the best, one of the best. And this is a conversation that is a little bit interesting because obviously Cam Ward, Jaxson Dart, those 2 players were selected ahead of him. But then Dillon Gabriel, Shedeur Sanders, Quinn Ewers. We see Max Brosmer get some reps. There's a handful of rookie quarterbacks out there that have gotten some run. J.J. McCarthy, this is his first time starting, so he's kind of a rookie, if you will. But Tyler Shough, you see on your screen, compared to rookie quarterbacks, first in completion percentage. He's 3rd in passing yards. He's 2nd in yards per game. 4th in touchdowns, and his passer rating is 2nd among all rookie quarterbacks. And look at the completion percentage. He leads all rookies in this regard. He's better than Jaxson Dart, better than Cam Ward, better than Dillon Gabriel, better than Shedeur Sanders. And again, a lot of these guys have a very limited sample size because either A, they were behind somebody else, or B, they dealt with injuries, or C, they're just on a bad roster, bad situation. It's just kind of too early to tell whether or not these guys are busts. But I can tell you right now, Tyler Shough has been extremely impressive against a bunch of rookie quarterbacks. But that's not where this conversation stops. I want to show you the quarterbacks who have a lower completion percentage than Tyler Shough right now. Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes. That's some pretty good company to be ahead of. Bryce Young, Marcus Mariota, Baker Mayfield, Bo Nix, Joe Flacco, Trevor Lawrence, Caleb Williams. He has been more accurate and a better passer than all of these players according to the completion percentage. Again, completion percentage isn't everything. It doesn't tell you who is the better quarterback. But I do think that it's important to know that despite having a really bad roster, a really bad set of offensive linemen, and underperformance in terms of play calling, Tyler Shough has been impressive. You cannot sit here and tell me that he hasn't. He has been more accurate than Lamar, than Patrick Mahomes, than Bryce Young, than Baker Mayfield, than Caleb Williams. This guy has been very, very good, and he deserves to get more credit than what he has been giving. And honestly, I think that this Tyler Shough conversation of Saints fans being split between him and Rattler, I think it's quite frankly stupid. I think it's a waste of time and a waste of energy. You have your quarterbacks. You have one starter. It doesn't matter who it is. As long as they're out there winning football games, who gives a shit? That's what matters, is the Saints finding their guy and winning football games, and I think Tyler Shough is doing a good job of getting there. He has only one win. That being said, we have seen this player elevate the roster. We've seen him do some good things for this offense, and he's been the best quarterback in the division. Like, he has led all NFC South quarterbacks in completion percentage. That's including both of the Falcons quarterbacks in Michael Penix and Kirk Cousins. You can't sit here and tell me Tyler Shough was a waste of the 40th overall pick. You can't convince me that Tyler Shough has been bad. You can't try to convince me, and I will not agree with you if you tell me he needs to be benched and Rattler needs to be back on the field. I could not disagree more. I think Tyler Shough deserves a lot more credit and a lot more love, not just from national media, but from the Who Dat Nation as well. So what do you think of Tyler Shough so far? Have I convinced you that he's been pretty good? Have I turned your opinions around, or do you still have the same opinions? Was it positive? Was it negative? Do you think he's the guy? Do you think he's the next Drew Brees? I'm not saying he is. But I am telling you right now, I think Tyler Shough is showing the things, then showing that he is capable and giving you signs and reasons to believe in him, at least for the foreseeable future. Again, I want to reiterate something. I am not saying Tyler Shough has been perfect. I think that he has a lot of work to do. I think he has a lot of development and growth that still needs to be had. But he deserves more love, and that is a conversation that I am having. That is a belief that I strongly have. And that is an opinion that I'm going to back up and I'm going to defend, because I believe that he does not get the credit and the love that he deserves. Meanwhile, I know it's a sensitive topic. Shedeur Sanders starts a game. He throws one touchdown. They get blown out, and he's getting all sorts of love and all sorts of credit and all sorts of excuses. Tyler Shough has been better, and he has been a good quarterback. And honestly, I have a lot of reasons to yell Shough, yeah. And we've shown this graphic before, but I think it just does a good job of kind of summarizing the things he does. I believe that he's elevated the offense around him. I think that he has done a really good job of turning average playmakers into better playmakers. I think that he has improved in the pocket. I think that his footwork and his pocket feel and his presence has gotten significantly better. Yes, he has been sacked a handful of times. Yes, he has had some issues with evading or with dealing with pressure. But I think he's done a good job of evading it and creating opportunities when pressure gets in his face. And I also think that Tyler Shough has been somebody who, as you see each and every week, can move around and make plays on the run. I want to get back to this here in a second, because this is a really important graphic and a really important conversation and a talking point. But first things first, we got to thank today's presenting sponsor, and that is Prize Picks. I love Prize Picks. You'll love Prize Picks. And look, Saints football, it's no mystery. It's kind of a drag to watch, but you might as well make some money while you're watching the Saints get blown out. So that's where Prize Picks come in, and we have a pretty sweet deal for you. $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup if you plug in the promo code CLNS. The holiday season is here, and it's the best time of year for sports. You got bowl games, basketball matchups, playoff pushes, and it's all happening at once. And while you and I are making decisions every day on what gifts to buy, what to eat, which games to watch, there's one place where it feels good to be right, and that's Prize Picks. My favorite thing about Prize Picks is picking multiple sports in the same lineup. With basketball back, I can put Derek Queen and Chris Olave in the same lineup and root for them both to ball out. And I got an example of how Prize Picks works for the SEC Championship. Jeremy Bernard, Gunnar Stockton, Ty Simpson. We're taking the more all the way across the board. I think it's going to be fireworks in Atlanta for this ball game. Really, really excited for this matchup. Big playoff implications. We'll see what happens, and I'm expecting all three of these players to ball out. And if I win, your boy's cashing in some money, and I get Maddie's Christmas gift paid for. So download Prize Picks today. Use that promo code CLNS. You'll get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. And there's a brand new feature on Prize Picks. They now have early payouts. So if your lineup gets off to a hot start, you may now have the option to cash out those winnings before the game finishes. Download Prize Picks today. Use code CLNS. You'll get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Click the link in the comments or description of this video to get started today. Shout out to Prize Picks, where it's good to be right. In my personal opinion, Tyler Shough has done enough to prevent and keep the New Orleans Saints from drafting a quarterback in round 1. And Lopez, if we could go back to the Shough list of reasons why you should have some faith in Tyler Shough and why I've been impressed. Why do I believe that Tyler Shough has done enough to prevent the Saints from drafting a first-round quarterback? Here's the list. Why do I think he's been good? Here's the freaking list. He's been tough. He's been fearless. He's been competitive. He has the NFL arm size and talent. He has the ability to use his legs. He throws a very catchable football. And no disrespect to the former quarterbacks here, but I don't think that's something that the New Orleans Saints have dealt with early in the season. And I think that Tyler Shough does an excellent job of elevating the roster around him. I know that he's dealing with a bad O-line. I know that he's dealing with the lack of weapons. I know that he's dealing with some bad play calling, but he's still finding ways to succeed, and he's still finding ways to keep things moving. Again, it hasn't been perfect, but I go back to this thought: the Saints have done enough to keep them from drafting a quarterback in round 1. And look, the weapons that he has available at his disposal, not great. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. This is not a game-wrecking crew. You really look at this graphic right here. You look at this lineup, and I may ask you this question. Does it strike fear into a defensive coordinator's eyes? No, it doesn't. It's pretty good with Chris Olave. Devon Vele starting to pop off. Juwan Johnson and Shough clearly have that chemistry dating back to their days at Oregon together. And Devin Neal's a rookie. Alvin Kamara dealing with an injury. We don't know how long he's going to be out. So right now, this is your lineup of weapons for Tyler Shough. The Saints need to do right by this football player. The Saints need to do right by Tyler Shough. They need to do right by their quarterback. And this is a conversation that I would be having if it was Hunter Deckers, if it was Spencer Rattler, if it was Arch Manning, if it was Derek Carr, if it was Drew Brees, if it was Jameis Winston, if it was Garrett frickin' Nussmeier. The Saints need to build around their quarterback. And I think Tyler Shough is giving you enough reasons to believe they have at least their quarterback for a couple of years. Let him figure out the rookie contract. Let him play through it, and at least you have something here. And guess what? In a couple of years, if it's terrible, then you draft one early anyway. But the Saints need to build around him. They need to invest in their offensive line. They need to bring in weapons around him. They need to give him the opportunity to succeed and thrive in New Orleans. And he has a ton of offensive weapons that are all on IR. Like, look at the list of people that he can't use because they're out. Kendre Miller, imagine having him around right now. That would be so helpful. Bub Means, a big-bodied pass catcher. That would be freaking helpful. Trey Palmer, somebody who can take the top off of a defense. You claimed him in waivers. That would be helpful. Jalen Polk, the wide receiver who was on IR when you traded for him. That would be helpful. And your starting center, Eric McCoy, one of the best in the National Football League. When he is available, he is productive. And when he is on the field, he is dominant. And the New Orleans Saints are desperately missing him on the field. They're missing all these weapons. I'm sure Tyler Shough would love to have all of them. I'm sure Kellen Moore would love to have all of them. Not to mention, you cut Brandon Cooks. Not to mention, you traded away Rashid Shaheed. Imagine if Tyler Shough had his full arsenal of weapons. Imagine if he had his full offensive line. Imagine if he had Rashid Shaheed still. Imagine if he had Bub Means. Imagine if he had all of his weapons at his disposal. It's fair to say, I think it could be better than what we've seen, and I've been impressed with what we've seen. So imagine how much better it could be. Now, who do you draft? The Saints, right now, they hold a prime selection in the first round of the NFL draft. And so the conversation is very real. Do you use it on a player? Do you trade back? Do you trade it for somebody? How do you use it? Well, you have a lot of holes, but the offense is where I'm going to be focusing a lot of my attention in the draft. I'm not saying you have to use one of your first-round pick or your first-round pick on one of these guys, but I do think that the Saints should at least consider bringing in one of these 5 players. Jordan Tyson, the best receiver in college football. I think he would be absolutely awesome with your current pick. Carnell Tate, a big-bodied wide receiver for Ohio State. Yes, please. Jeremiah Love, the absolute Energizer Bunny, the guy who is the biggest spark plug in all of college football, in my personal opinion, somebody who should win the Heisman Trophy, somebody who could be overly impactful in this offense with Kellen Moore and Tyler Shough. I would love Jeremiah Love if we managed to get a little bit later in the first round, whether it's trading back, winning, don't care. Kenyon Sadiq, an ultra-productive tight end who's also extremely athletic and a dangerous run blocker. And Chris Bell, a familiar face for Tyler Shough. He's wide receiver 1 when he was at Louisville. Bell is having a phenomenal year. I would love to keep that connection alive. You got to draft offensive weapons. You got to bring in some talent. And when it comes to the O-line, that is an area you also have to improve. Whether you're drafting O-linemen, whether you're signing O-linemen, whether you're paying him, trading for him, doesn't matter. The New Orleans Saints need to find a way to improve their offensive line. And I don't think the guys that you currently have on your roster are the answer. I would move off of Cesar Ruiz. I would bring in another guard on the left guard's position as well. I think you got your tackles in Kelvin Banks and Talise Fuaga. Eric McCoy, he's one of the best in the league, but he's had an issue staying on the field the last couple of years. So the New Orleans Saints need to find a way to raise the talent level of the O-line so that way they can win in the trenches and give their quarterback, their running back, their receivers, their tight ends, and their head coach the best opportunity to succeed. Final thoughts here. I really am excited to see more from Tyler Shough. Really excited to see the development continue. And again, there are going to be rookie growing pains, and there are going to be problems, and there are going to be mistakes that are made. That's okay. I want to reemphasize that it is okay. This whole video is not about Tyler Shough is the next Drew Brees. This video is about how Tyler Shough deserves more credit, and I think that he is doing enough to give Saints fans reasons for optimism moving forward. This season is not about winning, losing, draft. It's not about that. It's about developing the young talent, finding the pieces that will be a part of this thing moving forward. And it'll also be a thing where who is a part of the long-term plan. I genuinely believe that Tyler Shough has what it takes to be a good quarterback in this league. I think we still have to see what happens. But from what I've seen in the few games that he's played, I have been impressed. So let's show some love to number 6. Let's get some likes on this video. If you think Tyler Shough deserves more loves, hit the thumbs up icon and smash the like button right here, right now. My name is Trizzy Trace Gerard. I appreciate you guys for tuning in to today's video. I found the reasons why Saints fans should believe in Tyler Shough, and I just spent the last 18 minutes explaining it to you. Hope you enjoyed the content. If you did, don't forget to subscribe. Hit me up on social media. Just search up Trizzy Trace on your favorite social media platform. And for my guy, Loco Lopez, y'all stay golden. We'll see you next time.